Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another video. So today we are going to be discussing all of the books that I want to read in May. Now I have picked out 6 books that I want to read this month, and then I also do have a 7th book which is slotting onto the TBR because I've recently just joined a book club on Instagram and we have one book that obviously need to read. So we've got 7 books on our TBR for this month, but I'm just gonna get straight into this video. Yes, I once again have a clogged nose. It seems to be a very regular occurrence in these TBR videos that I happen to be unwell. We're just gonna get straight into discussing the 7 books that I plan to read in the month of May. So just to start off with, the first book that I'm going to talk about is going to be my book club read of the month. So the book that we're going to be reading is Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. I have not read a single book by this author before. I believe they have a novel called Ready or Not, which people quite enjoyed, and then this is a secondary story. I'm not too sure what it's about. It was not the book that I voted for. I voted for One Golden Summer. I'm excited to pick it up because I haven't read anything by this author. I have seen Ready or Not floating around, but I just haven't had a chance to read it. I do believe this is a book that deals with grief, and I think one of our characters has lost somebody. I don't want to say it's a partner, but I feel like it's a partner, and then I think it's just like a romance coming to age. Oh my god, I didn't realize that was there. What a mess. Yeah, I just think it's going to be, I don't know, maybe a rom-com with some deeper content. I don't even know who the main characters are or anything. I haven't purchased this book. I'm going to get the ebook version on my Kobo, but that was basically the choice that we're going to be reading for our book club read of the month for May. So I'm excited to give it a go and just see what I think about this author, because I do believe she's got a number of books out. So I could just be finding myself another new author to read and back catalogue to add to my TBR cart, because I don't have enough books to read. But anyway, that is our book club read. Like with last month, I've picked 2 kind of romance contemporary novels, and then the rest are fantasy dystopian style novels. But the first one, this is in no particular order, it's just literally how I've grabbed them, is Namesake by Adrian Young. This is the sequel to Fable. I did read Fable in February or March. I can't remember which month it was, but this just is going to carry on for the story. So Fable kind of ended on a cliffhanger where somebody was kidnapped and taken. So I'm kind of just presuming the story is literally going to pick up from there. I'm hoping we're going to get a bit more of Fable's relationship with her father, considering they did find him in the last book and he was kind of didn't want to know anything about her, but then was kind of going out of his way to keep in touch with everything that was happening in her life. But overall, I rated Fable 3 stars. I'm only reading this one because it's literally one of the 25 books on my 25 books I want to read in 2025. It's a book that's been on my TBR for a while. I didn't really enjoy the first one. If I didn't already own this one, I wouldn't have gone out to pick it up and read it, but I am just trying to get through, as I always say, the backlog of fantasy novels that I have on my shelf, and I just feel like it's time to pick up this one and read it so that I can just move on from these books because I'm not enjoying them. I don't plan to pick up, I think there's a novella and then there's also another book, and I don't have any interest in picking up those 2. I'm literally just reading it to get it off my TBR cart because I am that reader. And then the second physical book that I want to read is The Iron Sword by Julie Kagawa. This is the sequel to The Iron Raven, and this is part of the Iron Fae Evenfall trilogy. I read The Iron Raven in April. Sorry, I had to stop and think then. Sorry, my voice is going. It was so wonderful being back in YA fantasy worlds that I love. It was so nostalgic for me to go back into the Iron Fae world because I grew up reading these books. I started reading them when I was a teenager, and I absolutely love the Iron Fae world, and it was so cool to see Ash and Megan, and we focused on Puck, and there was a whole new prophecy, and I'm not going to give too much away because I'm going to talk more about it in my wrap up for April. But this is the sequel. It's just going to carry on the story. We've basically got a kind of a new prophecy going on, and there's a new evil thing that's been awoken and it's causing trouble in the Never Never, and Puck has to team up with this centuries old fairy who died and kind of came back to life, and they have to basically defeat this new evil. But we got to hang out with Ash and Megan, and then their son has been kidnapped, and this is just going to continue the story. But I'm just excited to get back into it, because when I was reading The Iron Raven, I'm like, this is just everything that I love about fantasy novels from when I was a teenager, and I just have to finish this one. It's also, again, one of the 25 books that I want to read in 2025, so really excited to read this one. I actually enjoyed The Iron Raven that much that I have purchased the third and final book in this trilogy, which is The Iron Vow. I'm currently waiting on it to be delivered. I'm really excited to pick this one up and just jump back into this world. It's brought me so much joy. And then the third physical book that I've picked up is one of the 2 romance novels or contemporary novels on this list, and that is Never Ever Getting Back Together by Sophie Gonzalez. I'm going to be honest, I just bought this book because it reminded me of Taylor Swift. That is the main reason that I was drawn to this book, the main reason why I purchased it, the main reason why I've decided to pick it up in May. It is also, again, the third book in this list. Yep, the third and last book on this TBR for one of the 25 books that I read in 2025. It's one of like 3 romance novels I have left on that list, so I'm kind of dragging them out. But I don't remember anything about this except that it's like reality TV. I think it's Bachelor vibes, because it does say revenge is a dish best served on live TV. So I'm kind of wondering, is it Bachelor style and they know each other and they've only gone onto it to mess with him? Oh my god. So 18-year-old Mayer's cheating ex Geordie is famous now. His sister married a prince and Mayer is sick of seeing his face everywhere. So she agrees to participate in a teen reality dating show in which Geordie redates his ex-girlfriends. So she's going to get revenge on him by rejecting him in front of the nation. Her fellow contestants include Sky, the girl Geordie cheated on her with, but as Mayer navigates the show's challenges, she and Sky become surprisingly close. Spending time with Geordie and Sky leaves Mayer feeling torn. Is Geordie a good guy who made a mistake? Is there more than friendship between her and Sky? As the season finale approaches, can Mayer execute her plan, or will she go off script? First of all, what adult thought it would be a great idea to do a teen reality dating show, first of all? Like, they're all 18 and older, I'm hoping. That means they're going to be horny as fuck. But secondly, I don't know why I held up 3 fingers. Secondly, why they're exes? I'm going to argue that these young people don't have the emotional intelligence to actually go on a show like this. It's just going to be drama filled. I don't think you could have adults doing that and have it. I mean, it's going to make great TV and that's probably why they've done it, but it just doesn't seem legit. I'm a little nervous purely because they're 18 and it's literally marketed as a teen reality dating show. So I'm not stoked with that aspect, but we'll see how I go with the 18-year-olds. I mean, I haven't met Geordie, but I low-key hope that none of the girls pick him or want to be with him, and instead they just become best friends. I'm interested to see what this is like. And then book 4 that I want to read is the one that I am most excited for and is my anticipated 5-star and favorite read of the month. And that is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This is the brand new Emily Henry novel that got released in April. I did not pick it up in April purely because I pick a favorite read of the month and I didn't want to have to pit Emily Henry and Abby Jimenez's new releases that both came out in April together. So I made the decision to read Abby Jimenez's novel because it came out at the start of the month. Whereas with Emily Henry's, it released like the 22nd or 23rd of April. And I was like, I can wait a week to read her novel, but I don't think I can wait a whole month to have to read Abby Jimenez's novel. So that's why I didn't pick it up yet. I adore Emily Henry. As you can see, there's literally a shelf dedicated to her behind me. I don't know anything about this book. Emily Henry is a novel that I go into her stories blind. Like, I don't read the blurb. I read them when like they make the announcement, but I promptly forget everything that they said the book was about. I don't care what the story's about. I'm gonna read it. Probably gonna really enjoy it too. All I know is that we're focusing on 2 characters. Obviously, we've got a male and a female. They're both, I think, competing to write a story. People have said it's got like similar vibes to The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I don't know if they're competing to write a famous person's biography or something like that. That's kind of all I know about this book. I'm just really excited to pick this up. I am a little nervous just purely because I've seen more negative reviews about this book, about people not enjoying it as much as her other novels. I don't know. I'm just excited to pick it up. It looks like our main character is called Margaret and there's a male. Don't know his name. I'm excited to read this, see what I think, and just have another Emily Henry novel to read. I'm so excited, and I don't know anything about this book, but I don't care. I'm just so stoked to be holding it. And then book number 5 is also another new release, which is A Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Yeah, this one came out, I feel like it came out in March, and I haven't picked it up yet. Is the Hunger Games prequel, basically set in between the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and then the actual Hunger Games. It focuses on Haymitch, who is like the male mentor in the Hunger Games for Peter. This focuses on his Hunger Games. All I know is that everybody cries a lot in this novel. I have done my best to avoid spoilers, but it was really hard because everyone on my personal account and also my book account was reading this novel and putting up like their thoughts and stuff as they were reading it, and it was so hard to avoid spoilers. But basically I know I'm gonna bawl my eyes out in this book, so I'm prepared to cry. But I'm just really excited to be back in this world. Apparently it provides really good context and it's like a beautiful book that adds to this world. I'm excited to just get more Haymitch because I loved him. Like, I want to know what happened to him to make him the way that he is. Like, I want his thoughts and everything as he's going through it. So I'm excited to pick this one up. And then the 6th and final book that I want to read in the month of May is The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. My sister very kindly gifted me this book for my birthday, and I haven't read the book that she gave me March last year for my birthday, but I thought I'd pick this one up because it's less of a commitment because there's only a sequel, I think, coming out or has just been released, if that. Whereas the other book she gave me, there's like 4 books in that series to have to read, so I'm not making that commitment. This one sounds really interesting. I didn't know anything about this book until I literally pulled the book out of the bag as my present. They've got a little tagline that says the new Queen of Fairies. You guys know I love a fairies book. So I did read the blurb when she gifted it to me, but I've since forgotten it. So basically, after losing both their parents, Bristol and her sisters struggle to stay afloat in their small town, which is called Bowskeep. When Bristol begins to receive letters from an aunt she's never heard of who promises to help, she discovers that everything she thought she knew about her family is a lie. Her father might even still be alive, kidnapped by terrifying creatures from another realm. They better be fairies. Desperate to save her father, Bristol journeys to a land of gods, fae, and monsters. There, she makes a deadly bargain with the Fae leader, but what she doesn't know is that he's the one who drove her parents to live a life on the run, and he is just as determined as she is to find her father, dead or alive. So, does that mean that one of her parents or both of her parents are fairies? That's just my guess reading this blurb. Either way, we're going to hang out with some fairies. It sounds like it's going to be a cool fantasy novel. It also sounds like it's going to be more of an adult fantasy novel. And I do quite like me an adult fantasy novel with fairies. They've not let me down. So yeah, I just want to pick this one up because at the moment it's kind of one of the more standalone fantasy novels that I have left on my TBR card. So that's why I want to pick this one up. And so I can actually say to my sister, hey, I read that book you gave me for my birthday, but please don't ask me about the book you gave me last year for my birthday. We're making some small steps to improve ourselves as a person. Alrighty guys, so they are the 6 physical books and my 1 book club read of the month that I want to read in the month of May. If you have read any of these books, please let me know in the comments down below. Please keep it as spoiler-free as possible, especially for the Emily Henry and Suzanne Collins novel because they literally have only come out in the last couple of months, so I don't want any spoilers for myself or for anybody else. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week for my April reading wrap-up. Bye guys!